Okay, folks, and the orchid of discussion is this right here. Do you guys know what it is? Can ya guess? Can ya? Can ya? Can ya? That's right. This orchid right here is a BULBOPHYLLUM Medusae. So I actually ordered this online yesterday, and I did get a chance to water it one time. Now, what I went ahead and did, because I could not stand it any longer, but I removed some decayed bulbs that were right here. They had turned this bright orange, and when I proceeded to take it off, I thought it was going to be filled with mush, as you would see in rotting pseudobulbs, but in actual reality, what it was filled with was nothing. It was only the outer coating, so when I tried to twist it off, it actually crushed, and it was much like dried leaves. So definitely, it was completely gone, dead, and decayed. And if we take a close look at the bulb, you see, look at that, it's really flimsy, it's hardly attached at all, and you're seeing so much shriveling going on, and also a blackening that's occurring also in the bulb as well. And if we take a closer look at the foliage system, look at this, guys. Yeah, you see that? This is about to rot away and break off. And then also right here, see where that crack is? This is about to fall away as well. So foliage system, not all that great either. And taking a close look at the rest of the pseudobulbs, again, just a whole lot of wrinkling going on right here. And also you could see this right here. I don't know if it's a form of algae or something just really growing on these pseudobulbs. And again, just note the blackening, the discoloration also in these bulbs. And look here, the oranging that's going on. And also right here as well. You see that also discoloring right there. So now let's take a closer look at these roots right here. A lot of these roots are dried up and actually just dead and crumbling away. So there's a lot in here that is not alive at all. Good news though, folks, I do see a few that seem to have intermingled into this coconut fiber, so I'm hoping those roots are alive. And because they are intermingled within this coconut fiber, of which I hate so much, by the way, I am not going to disturb this by removing this from this coconut fiber and plastic mesh mount, because again, I don't want to risk hurting this orchid any further than it's already been harmed. So indeed, I'm going to have to leave this as is just for its safety, folks. Sad to say. And one more thing I wanted to give you guys a close-up on is something that appears to be growing within this mesh area. Right now it's dried, but yesterday I watered it, and this becomes somewhat of a slimy type of material. So I don't know if it's algae or some form of mildew or fungus that's going on here. So we definitely are going to have to disinfect this. So that's one of our first moves that we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and wet this down, and we'll take a look at what it looks like once it has been watered. Okay, and here we are, folks. We're just going to go ahead and mist this down pretty good. Just going to go ahead and water it. Mist away, folks. Mist away. Okay, so now that we've watered this down, we can get a closer look at what's going on within the root system and also within that coconut fiber material. And you are really noticing some guck and some muck going on in between the root system. And also, if we turn this around, now you can really get a better close-up on all of that guck and muck that's really within this plastic mesh liner, as you can see right there, folks. See all that black, greenish, nasty stuff? And again, folks, I don't really know what that is, so we're not going to take any chances. We're going to go ahead and disinfect this now. And here I have my handy dandy spray container all filled up with the gold full strength Listerine, of which I love to use as an insect killer and also an antiseptic and a fungal mildew fighter, all in one. So indeed, that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and spray this down with this gold Listerine. And let the spraying begin. And we're just really going to soak this down with this Listerine on both sides. And then we're going to allow it to air out and dry. Okay, folks, so what we're going to do right now is we're going to go ahead and hang this little guy up and allow him to dry overnight, because we want to get rid of all this extra moisture that's in here. And we're going to let it dry overnight, and I'm going to show you exactly what we're going to do as an extra added benefit to this very sickly recovering orchid right here. And because this is a Bulbophyllum Medusae, this actually likes a whole lot more moisture than your common average everyday growing orchid, and is why this grows so well in greenhouses and also in terrariums where you can provide it that extra moisture that it needs. So because I don't have a greenhouse and I'm not capable of doing that, providing it with the extra moisture through the greenhouse method, but we have another method that we're going to go ahead and use, and I think is going to work just in this case right here. Okay, folks, now you guys remember when we made this terrarium right here with a soda pop bottle? And what we're going to do is we're going to use something similar, but as you guys know, this is sphagnum moss and just contained within this closed container right here. We're going to do something a little bit different, a little bit with a twist, which also works because it's been tried and tested and I have approved it. So definitely, let's show you what that method is. Folks, so all this is right here is the same terrarium that I showed you, except we are taking another bottle and we are actually making this right here, which is going to hold up the orchid, and it is going to have enough holes for the moisture to get through, and it definitely is still going to be contained in a whole lot of moisture just for the orchid. And this container was made because the other container had sphagnum moss. And if you did not want your orchid sitting in sphagnum moss but still getting the same amount of moisture, this indeed was another way of doing just that. Okay, folks, so I've already put in that plastic bottom insert into the bottle, as you can see. So now it's just a matter of putting the orchid inside of this container and then sealing it with the top. And here we go, folks. Just gonna plop this right in here, just like that. And then we're just gonna go ahead and insert the actual top over it. And voila, folks, there you have it, the Bulbophyllum contained in my homemade terrarium, where I am using this as a rescue method to try to provide this with as much moisture as possible. And as you can see, folks, it is right above the water where the actual plant will not be submerged or touching that water at all, but the humidity and the moisture will rise above into this area, and of course it will be contained where it will have the humidity and the moisture it needs, just as an added protection for this, especially since it's so sickly and it needs all the help that it can get. Okay, folks, and in this container right here was an experiment that I did. I definitely wanted to check out and see exactly if it could help encourage some growth off of some sickly orchids as well in here. And we have a Dendrobium and also a Cymbidium, and we're going to go ahead and show you exactly how it's helped in these cases. And as you can see, folks, this is a Dendrobium with some rotted roots at the very base. Now you can see exactly why I did not want to submerge this in some sphagnum moss where it really could not sustain any further damage to the root, and I was hoping that the rotting would not fester and move up to the cane. Now, as you see, there's this little baby Keiki that's on there, and this Keiki absolutely had no roots at all. And the reason why I wanted to promote the quickest way of growing some roots on this is because I did not know how long this cane would last. So I wanted to give this as much chance to grow roots that if this totally, completely died out, I could at least remove it and there would be some hope for this to be repotted and possibly grow. And as you can see right now, folks, you see all of those green roots coming out. And indeed, I really believe that it was because of the terrarium method that we used that really encouraged this to really grow in the quickest way possible. And here we have, folks, a cymbidium that is rotting out, and I showed you the rest of the cymbidium bulbs that were also rotting out as well. But I wanted to check out this terrarium method and see how well it would do in this case. And as you can see, that new growth, that green right there coming up right there. And also on the other side, you are seeing that green also coming up right there as well. So indeed, the terrarium has helped both of these orchids, and soon we'll be able to repot these and have their new growths become healthy and start off as new plants. And since we're on the topic of rescuing orchids, I definitely wanted to show you this right here, which is a brand new orchid that I purchased as well, a Vanda, and it is currently in survival mode. I am rescuing this Vanda in my deep hydration method, and if you guys have not seen that video, I would recommend that you do, because you can actually use this method on many orchids, and I'll post the link on my description so you can also check that out. But that's definitely what I'm doing with this, the deep hydration method. And you guys want to know, does it work? Does it? Does it? Does it? Indeed it does, folks. Indeed it does. Now, all of these Vandas right here were in the same similar condition as that Vanda that I showed you previously. And these were actually in such bad condition, folks, they barely had any roots. Maybe one or two small roots at the most. And as you can see now, check out all of those roots. And all of the foliage was basically just totally dried out, and folks, I really didn't even know if these could survive. And again, using the deep hydration method, you see how well they have recouped and recovered, like totally 100%. So definitely, deep hydration method, a thumbs up, folks. Definitely works. And I thank you guys so much for tuning in to yet another wild orchid adventure with me, Maria Young. And if you guys want to stay tuned for more videos such as these, please be sure to subscribe, where you will be kept updated on the latest and greatest news of my orchid paradise. Also, folks, if you guys like this video, please be sure to give it 2 thumbs up. And of course, folks, if you want to join me on my Facebook adventures as well, feel free to do that. I always love to see you guys there. I love to see all of your posts and your pretty little orchids, and definitely love the conversations I have there on my Facebook adventures. So definitely join me at my orchid adventures. If you guys want to contact me via snail mail, please feel free to do so at the following address. Alright. Ciao! Again, I thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as you guys already know, I love you all. Mwah! And as an FYI, folks, on this terrarium orchid, this Medusae right here, I actually plan on growing this in, I guess, what we could call a semi-terrarium, because I do indeed plan on taking this out of here once in a while and allowing it to really hang outdoors with the rest of my orchids and enjoy the fresh air and the natural environment of my garden. But then whenever I see it fit, and if I think it needs more moisture, I will also allow it to be in here as well. So just depending on how it's showcasing its health-wise or how it's doing will determine exactly how and where I'm going to keep this at. So yep, semi-terrarium on this, folks, and we're just going to be monitoring this, and I indeed will keep you posted on this rescue Medusae right here.